months.
He's coming. Pause. Crazy.
Bad timing as well.
Terrible timing. That is terrible timing. Yes, lovely people. Semenyo and Mark Guehi look nailed on to join Liverpool in January. So what does that mean for Liverpool's rest of the season? And Liverpool have a run in the fixtures that look very favourable on paper. But how will we actually do? People, it's LFC Focus Live with N, Jamie, Ram, and one other person. Sit back, relax. Let's get into this.
Hi, this is Jordan Henderson, and you're watching Team Kop-ish.
Being free back again, ripping LFC till the end, so go on tell a friend. If they rockin' red, they're a 10 champions, we the best, we come again. Kop-ish clean up in every region, elevation in every season. Catch up in all the fast match up in real rap and drifty go on tell them this is that, this is that. This is Kopish, this is Kopish. Reppin' Liverpool till the end, champions, we the best, come again. This is that, this is Kop-ish, this is Kop-ish. The main free back up in your screen, real ones know this the place to be. This is Kop-ish.
Yes, lovely people, hope you're well. Please do smash the like button and make sure you subscribe to everyone's channels here on the panel. Gents, how are we doing this morning?
All good.
Good, bro. Good. I just want to clarify the start of this show. I was asked a question by Rams. I wasn't just randomly saying crazy stuff. So I can hear a screeching noise, like someone's on the train breaking.
No, I've got a train going past my house right now.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's gone.
I literally got my. I can literally see the train. It's like there's a train line right at the end of my garden.
You know, I've never heard it before.
What? Oh, hang on. Yeah, I've got the window open. Let me just shut the window.
Oh. You got the window open? Oh, no, I'm not, man.
Go, bro.
No.
Just letting that eating, just spending money for no reason, bro. I hear it.
No, it's crazy.
Oh, bro, as soon as you open,
haven't got the heating on, it's cold out there. It was. I don't know about you guys. It was snowing by me yesterday.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it's snowing as well.
In Northwest London, it was snowing.
You've got the window open, Jay.
Yeah, man, I'm warm.
Oh no!
Well,
if I show you how close I've got a heater
warm,
that's next to me, you'd be shocked.
I have the heating and the window open.
That's crazy.
You can't money for no reason, bro. I hear it.
My missus would strangle me if I did.
You can't. You're meant to have a window open if you have your heating on in winter because it stops the condensation and the mildew building up in your house.
I've got a dehumidifier.
Yeah. Oh, that's all right.
Okay, big money. I hear it.
Well, that's what I was saying, ain't it? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, the big money.
These poor people have to open a window. We don't earn that money. We ain't got that bread.
You know, gas it up. You lot are terrible, man.
Big money, bro.
Jay, I want to start with you because I think you're probably his biggest fan on this panel. But yesterday on Sky Sports News, it came up that Mark Guehi looks like he's very close to joining Liverpool potentially in January.
Yeah.
Now, firstly, do you think it happens in January? Secondly, how do you think it affects the team potentially?
Well, it makes Kanate think about his life. This should have happened in the summer. I understand why it didn't happen in the summer. Liverpool wanted him for the right price. I get all that. They definitely are after him. They wanted two centre backs. We saw that with Leone. They thought he was the future, but they wanted someone for the present as well. So we've been looking for that new centre back partnership for a while now. Kanate's future's in doubt. There's obviously something about Mark Guehi that the club really like and really want. And I think it's his ability to play out from the back and play also full-back areas as well, which Arne Slot really wants. You know, he wants to play out from the back. We know that. That's his style. He wants to start build-ups from the back. And Mark Guehi is very, very good at doing that. Defending-wise, I think he's a good defender. You know, is he on the level of Kanate as a one-on-one defender? I'm not sure about, but there's other things to Guehi's game that's better than Kanate's game, and it probably suits what Arne Slot wants to do at the moment. Like when you watch Liverpool right now, teams press us and let Kanate have the ball. teams won't be able to do that if it's Mark Guehi, because Mark Guehi is better on the ball. So it gives us a different weapon in that centre back area where we can get out a lot better than we do right now and won't be as exposed. So for that reason, that's why I want him personally. If you're going to play this way, go and get that kind of player. So I rate the guy. He's a must. He's a must signing for me in January. I think Liverpool got an advantage over a lot of other teams because we almost had him in the door in a way. He's probably still got the Liverpool training kit still at home that he was using probably in his medical in the summer. So I reckon Liverpool kept tabs on him. I reckon they talked to him and his agent quite a lot. Told him, look, we'll either get you in January or the summer. Crystal Palace coming out yesterday, basically saying they feel like Liverpool will get him in January. Tells me there's been conversations, because you don't make that kind of statement without conversations obviously been happening. They look like they're putting things out there to prepare fans for what's going to happen in January. Same with Bournemouth with Semenyo. It's about preparing their fan bases for what's going to happen in the next 4 to 5 weeks time. So 6 weeks time maybe. So yeah, I think it happens in January. I don't think Liverpool got a choice now. If Leone stayed fit, I think they wait till the summer. I
agree.
Stays fit. But and that's why Joe Gomez can't play at the moment either, because they've got no other centre back. You know, he probably might want to get Gomez in the team, but you know, if you get Gomez in the team and he goes down injured, and you've got Konate who can always get an injury, you're left with nothing. So I think a centre back is desperately needed more than any other position this January coming.
Ram, I'll come to you next. Obviously, we tried to get this deal done in the summer. We were very close to securing the deal, but obviously it fell through at the last minute. Do you think it's beneficial to go for Mark Guehi in January, or should we target a different profile of centre back and then try and get him on a free in the summer?
I know what you're talking about. You're trying to lure me
I'm
into a question. You're trying to lure me into should we get
Enzo
Schlotterbeck or
say,
Bastoni in January? I know you, bro.
I just answered the question. I'm innocent.
For me personally, is whether who's available. You know, we could all dream of having either Bastoni or Schlotterbeck in January, but the real question is, one, for Bastoni, is he actually available to get in January? And two, when it comes for Schlotterbeck, has he moved on from his ACL? Because there's still questions being asked, even at this moment in Germany, about him and the ACL. So it really does depend who's available. All three players are very good players, very good footballers in general. They're good with their feet. They're good at playing out from the back, which is what we're struggling with, especially on that right-hand side. And it's become a massive issue. Like every team has identified it now. And it's come to a point where it's heavily detrimental on the team. And we're losing football matches because of it. I think it's been blown out of proportion to an extent, because I think Ibu on the ball has shown he's good. Like a couple really good passes into Man City. If it wasn't for certain people not being able to control a football, it wouldn't have been highlighted like that. But if we're talking on a general basis, then yeah, look, at the end of the day, we still need to upgrade on that area and that aspect of football on the pitch. So, on your question, I think Guehi's the only person that is actually available to get in January, and is of the quality. And for me, I'd rather go for someone who's readily available and can come in straight away. We've already had personal terms agreed from like August, so why can't we get it done in January? I know Palace will be more than happy to take a little bit of money for him, given the fact that he's on 6 months left on his contract. So I'll go for Guehi, in my opinion.
Fairs. And so one of the things I think all four of us have moaned about constantly throughout the season is the lack of tactical defensive structure. And although Mark Guehi is a very good centre-back and one of the best centre-backs in the league, I'd argue, are we almost lulling ourselves into a false sense of security that because we're signing the player himself that everything's just going to change overnight? Or do you think that regardless of him signing or not, we're still going to have these problems that we're having at the moment?
I think is what you just finished off saying. I think we're going to have these problems regardless, even if he signs. The problem isn't Konate can't pass the football. Clearly, he can pass the football. It's just the lack of options in terms of how we're trying to set up and the lack of movement from the players in terms of the system we're trying to use. So that if he comes in, for one, are we just assuming he's going to be playing on the right-hand side for Konate? Is that the assumption? Because far as I've seen for England, he plays the left-hand side, and far as I've seen for Palace, he's played on the left-hand side.
I think he play left back.
Yeah, so I don't know where the assumption is he's definitely coming in for Konate. It could mean that we go to the back three that we've been talking about for a while, and we actually do that, and then he does the invert and become the third centre-back, or what Jamie just alluded to in terms of playing left-back and then invert when we build up in the three. It could be that, but I don't think he comes in and makes a massive difference in terms of how we set up, unless the structure, like you just mentioned, changes. So if the structure changes, then yeah, he'll make a massive difference. Because I look at, for Palace, how many options he has on the ball when he's played. I look at for England, the way they play as well, the amount of options he has there as well. And he's good on the ball, don't get me wrong. And he's going to be able to carry the ball into good spaces and pass. He's got a bit more calmness about him in terms of the way he how he poses himself in the game. But just by the way we play, man, look, we've got some talented players now in the squad, and we're not getting the best out of them regardless. So we add another quality to it. Does it make a massive difference? Is everyone saying now Guehi comes in and Liverpool turn their season around and he's the difference and we start playing good football? Do you know what I mean? So that's the way I look at it. Yes, it's a good option because I think we need a centre-back. Obviously, Leone goes down with the ACL, is out. I agree with what Jamie says as well, even though I know he's the only fit centre-back, which is Gomez, and we don't want to risk playing him. But at the same time, you risk when you don't play him this much and then you put him in, he will probably get an injury because he's just sitting in the cold. So you have to give him a little bit, even if it's 10, 15, 20 minutes, just to keep his body ticking over in games instead of going, right, 10 games you're not playing, throw him in the mixer for the next one. He pulls up with an injury. Now we're going, oh my days, we're down to only 2 fit senior centre-backs. So I think, yes, I think we'll go and get him in January. But do I see him making a massive difference? No. But if we can change the fortunes around and play better now, I think he can come in and add his quality to us as a team. But if we was going to pluck him out of Palace today and put him in our team, but for Forest on the weekend, do I think he'll make a difference? No, not at all, because we're not playing good anyway. So I think we need to get a system together, get how we want to play, then we can start adding his qualities into our team. But yeah, I don't think he does, bro.
Jay, I want to come back to you. Guehi at left back. I'm just going to say this, Jay, and I'm not going to start any trouble or anything, but I tweeted something out around September time, and I remember you responded to the tweet saying,
Oh, wow, we're doing this. When I said live on your show yesterday, I came round to your right. Hang me out on Kopish. Yeah, I see what you're doing now. Hanging your friend out, right? I think we're getting divorced. I'll get the papers ready, man.
I remember back in August.
You shut it down, man.
I remember, Cal. I remember.
You remember.
Have you seen what we're all doing on? Like, he's had a go at Ram already. He's put Ram in a difficult situation. And you'll be next, man. Don't worry.
Trying to wait up when he does it. I know.
You're against back three. Now you're suggesting Guehi play at left back, Jay. What makes you convinced that Arne Slot might do something like that? And if so, would you be happy with that?
Because he's a prick and I don't know what he's going to do. So, like, no, honestly, laughter aside, a lot of the way teams are going in the Premier League now is more centre-backs playing along their back four. You know, so some teams have like sometimes three centre-backs in the back four. It's all about playing out from the back. That's what Slot wants to do. He wants to play it back. He's made it perfectly clear now. He doesn't like playing the way that when we win games. He wants to play the way when we lose games. Right? He's made that extremely clear. Right? He said it when we played against Real Madrid, Man City's last year, and all that. He's come out and said that's not my philosophy and the way I actually want to play. But we win games of football. He wants to play the losing style. So the losing style is playing out from the back. if he wants to play that way, then you've got to get players that are capable of doing it. And Mark Guehi is one of them players. And if you go play him anywhere, like I go back to the summer. Reports came out that Mark Guehi was interested in going to Liverpool, but he had major concerns about playing time in a World Cup year. Because he sees himself probably as England's number one centre-back, in my opinion, he is. So he had major concerns on it. Then all of a sudden, he's desperate to go to Liverpool, and if, the thing didn't, he would have been Liverpool player now. So something's happened in conversations where he's obviously been promised a shitload of game time. So that is either him playing in a fullback area or him just taking Konate's spot. It's one of the two. I don't mind. Look, last year, the reason Liverpool were very good last year, Trent inverting from that right back spot, being a passer of the football, taking an inverted role into midfield gave us an extra body in midfield so other players could go forward and attack, giving you that extra body and more defensive stability in the middle. We haven't got that this year because we've gone down a different route of getting the fullbacks we got, but he still wants to play that way. So if you get someone like Mark Guehi in who can do that role, inverting off, becoming that third centre-back, splitting the two, and being able to pass the ball forward and getting it into the feet of Graham Birch and becoming that spare man, because he did play DM as well. You can use him as that spare man in that defensive third, and having that spare man free and available. That is one of the that's all I can think of why all of a sudden he was very up to going to Liverpool and not worrying about game time in a World Cup year. I think that was the plan. I honestly do, Dale. I look at that as maybe the plan. Look, you are right about the free at the back stuff, because if you do go through the transfer window of Liverpool this summer and the players we're looking at, they're all players bought from a free in the back system. Even Wirtz played in a free in the back system. Kirkes, Frimpong. We're looking apparently Bastoni. What's he playing? Mark Guehi. What's he playing?
Jamie, look at the international teams as well. They
all play in free back systems as well for their internationals.
Yeah.
So it's a weird one, ain't it? I mean, maybe he wants to play a back four, like on paper, but we transition into a three. So if you've got someone like Guehi who can play fullback role, and you transition into a three with Virgil Konate and Guehi, you've got two passers in your back three then that can build up play from a defensive position, and also one can come out and be that third, that extra midfielder if needed, and you've got that extra man in midfield. So maybe that's the plan. We won't know till it happens, obviously, but yeah.
Ram. All right, so the assumption by all of us here has been he's either going to come in at left back and invert, plays a left sided centre back, or take Konate's place. Is there a world where Guehi could be coming in to actually take minutes away from Virgil van Dijk, given that he does play left centre back predominantly?
That's a deep question.
Because maybe we're overlooking that Virgil is 34 now, has played a lot of minutes. We all agreed in the summer that we want to see his game time trimmed a little bit to extend his Liverpool career, but on the pitch. Do you think that could be the thinking why we're going for Guehi?
Well, if it means taking minutes off him in the cup games, then yeah. I don't expect Virgil's minutes in the Premier League, the Champions League, the major tournaments to be cut down significantly.
Why not? We all rate Guehi. Obviously anyone who takes Virgil's place is a drop down because he's the best in the world in our opinions. But it's not like the drop down from Virgil to Guehi is like the drop down it was from Matip to Reece Williams. Like why can't Virgil have less game time?
I think one thing's for sure, Virgil's our club captain, so by default it's a necessity that our club captain more or less plays majority of the games in the squad. In my opinion, I've maintained that thought process even when Jordan Henderson was here and when Steven Gerrard was here. For me, I don't expect Virgil's minutes to drop down significantly. I think there will be a time in a couple of years' time where we have to sort of manage his minutes properly. But I think that only comes about when we have four centre backs that are of the level. And I'm not saying like someone. I'm not. There's no disrespect to Joe Gomez or Leone at this moment. But we need players of that level because there is a massive drop off to everybody if Virgil gets out of the team. And the big question was, who can replace Virgil? And I've always maintained no one can replace Virgil. His attributes on the field as a centre back alone, but also his leadership, his mentality, you lose all that. And the only way you can replace it is by, and it's, people going to laugh, is by replacing him in the aggregate, by buying players that can provide both. Not one player can provide the same level as Virgil, but replacing him within the team. And that's the only way I see fit to displace Virgil at this moment. So it's not a matter of quality, but it's also is the mentality you lose. And I think you're going to lose a lot if you get Virgil out of this team. And I don't think the team's ready without Virgil at this moment. And it sounds really bad, but that's the quality of Virgil. I guarantee you, I'd ask every single one of you, if Virgil comes with an injury, what do? We're all going to be panicking. And
Not
that's when
this season.
Nah, just play Gravenberch at centre back.
I'm not panicking if Virgil's
Your
missing this season.
ends.
That's what the gaffer done. So what you tell? Don't moan at me. That's what the gaffer done.
No, I joke. Me and Cal knows I joked about the young Frank Rijkaard thing with Gravenberg, yeah, but that was a joke, bro. I didn't actually mean it seriously.
He does remind me of young Frank Rijkaard. I ain't gonna lie.
I don't mean we don't play about a centre back though. That's what I'm saying.
I don't think Virgil's defensive abilities are missing this year if you put someone else in there. I think Virgil's come down in his defensive abilities a little bit this season. They should be spoke about more. And I think he's been getting away with it a lot because he's aura farming. And, you know, we all want to smell like Virgil, apparently. But he's been defending like shit, right? And let's just be truthful about it, right? He's
the whole
he's
season or just the last
most of this season he's been defending like shit. What Virgil's great at, low, is his ball playing ability. And that's what we haven't got in our team at the moment. That's why he has to play. We haven't got anyone who can play with the ball like Virgil. He's our best footballer as a defender by a country mile. If you got Mark Guehi in, like you say, Cal, Mark Guehi can come in for Virgil because Virgil's defending has not been nowhere near as good as it's been this year, and Guehi's defending is top drawer at the moment. But he can play with the ball like Virgil can as well, with the same ball playing ability. So that won't be a drop on that. So I don't think it's a bad choice. You know, Virgil don't have to play against like PSV at home if you had Mark Guehi. Do you know what I mean? You know, you can put Mark Guehi in that position. You know, if you're buying these players because you believe they're quality, right? So then you've got to play them and show that they're quality. And I love Virgil. He's been Liverpool. Apart from Alan Hansen, he's my favourite ever Liverpool defender by a country mile. He probably gets in Liverpool's greatest ever 11 with Alan Hansen as the two centre backs, right? But he's 34 now, like with Mo Salah at 33. At the end of the day, they're not always going to be the same player they were at 27, 28, 29, 30. It's just life. It's natural, yeah? So you have to look after them as well. I don't think it's fair for us to just go, right, Virgil, you're 34, but play 60 games this season and perform at the level you were when you're 27. It's not going to happen. You know, none of us are silly enough to think that's going to be happening. So you got to buy players in with quality that can come in and do a job that Virgil can do. So, as I said, Virgil's defending has been subpar this season for me for the quality that Virgil van Dijk is. You know, I'm holding him in high standards, so his defending has been subpar this year. But his on the ball ability is better than everything else we got in our team right now, and that's what we need to replace as well. That's why I think Mark Guehi is a fantastic substitute to come in if you do buy him.
Fairs. Ends. Final question on Mark Guehi, and then we'll move over to Semenyo. One of the things that teams regularly do against Liverpool is try and hit us on the counter, whether it be through a long ball or try and attack us aerially. Now, Konate and Virgil are two of the best centre-backs in the league for aerial duels. Mark Guehi has actually got good aerial duel stats, but when you actually watch the games, he's usually going up against wingers with aerial duels because he plays as left of a back three. Given his height and his stature being 5'11", do you worry that teams will target us more aerially if Guehi's in a team as opposed to a Konate or a Virgil?
Guehi 6 foot, just to let you know. He's not 5'11.
5'11.
That's
Nah,
still
he's
short for
1'8".
a centre back anyway, bro.
Oh my god.
Just saying, that's still short for a
Ain't,
centre
ain't
back.
some of the greatest centre backs all time not actually that tall.
Baresi.
No, it's because
Cannavaro.
positionally they're very good. That's why they read the
You
game.
don't, yeah, that's what defending's about. It's like Virgil.
Yeah.
Virgil's tall and he's obviously great in the air, but positionally he was as good as anything there is. Like
To your question, Cal, do I worry that they're gonna do that? I don't think they'll just go, okay, there's a shorter centre back there. Let's just start playing the ball long. They do that anyway. They do that against us anyway. This is why the gaffer was complaining about how many long ball we face in all the games and the teams that we're playing against. You know, the ball's up in the air more than it is on the floor and stuff like that. So I'm not really fussed. I think he's adequate enough to win the ball. It's just about how you position, if you're good at jumping as well. And I think that they'll probably put themselves on him, thinking he's the weaker one out of him and Verge. If he does come in for like a Konate, for an example, they do that regardless anyway. So they do that regardless of who Virgil's playing with. It's only Man City that decided to allow us to play out from Konate's side. Everyone else is kind of gone, well, yeah, we'll just knock it into the channels and let them chase, or we'll knock it into our tall striker and let him battle with Konate. But I think our main problem is also when teams do that, we don't win the second ball enough. So we'll knock it down or we'll win it, unless the centre-backs win it clean and then able to play out with it. We tend to lose out on that second ball. It happened loads against Palace as well. They kept knocking it into Mateta, and Konate won pretty much most of them, if not all of them. But it's just when he knocks it down or wins the draw, we don't have our midfielders in close proximity to win those. So it doesn't matter if Guehi comes in and they knock it long. It's just about how we set up. So my problem is just the system still, bro, regardless of who is in the back line.
First, people, if you're watching, please do leave your comments regarding the Guehi situation. Do you think we'll get him in January, and do you think he improves us defensively? Right, let's move on to another player. And Enz, I'm going to start with you on this one. I think, there we go. I think you might be, well, Jamie as well. I'm not too sure. I've not spoken to Rant about Semenyo yet too much. But I know, Enz, you're a big fan of Semenyo. Now, this season, I'd say is probably his breakout season. He did have a good season last season as well. I want to ask though, are we looking at Semenyo's stats and not look? And again, I don't want to accuse Richard Hughes and Michael Edwards, because I think they get transfers right way more than they get them wrong.
Yeah.
But do you think there's a risk that we're looking at Semenyo and going, yeah, this will definitely work because it's working at Bournemouth, when the same thing happened with Kirkes, the same thing happened with Vert, for example, and the fact that Bournemouth rarely come up against low blocks, whereas we pretty much come up against low blocks 9 out of 10 weeks. Do you think Semenyo is the right type of profile we should be going for? If so, why?
Yeah, I think it shows even when he's compact. I don't know if you saw his goal. I can't remember the team now. But he basically picked up over on the left-hand side, dribbled through the team and scored from a tight angle. I think it was, I can't remember the team. Maybe you guys can help. Fulham, maybe, yeah, it might have been the Fulham game actually. So it shows even with teams sitting back, he has the capability of going by his players in those moments, in those areas as well. And I think that's what we lack in our team. We're too predictable in both of our wings. They both cut in, deliver to the back post. They're both, you would say, I'm not going to say Gakpo struggles to beat his player, because I looked at in terms of he's the highest, I think, percentage wise, beating his fullback 1v1. I think Salah struggles with that a lot now, and that's probably where we probably have to look at a different position for him. But I think we need that in our wingers, and I think we're kind of, I'm sure the numbers are going to be one of the things most people look at and go, he hasn't scored a lot, he doesn't get a lot of assists and stuff like that. But that was never the case. It's only a Liverpool thing where we go, the wingers must do this and they must do that. They have to get this amount of goals and they must get this amount of assists. This is the reason why we bought Alexander Isak, and this is the reason why we bought Hugo Ekitike, is to take away the strain and the stress of the wingers being the outliers in terms of those numbers. Their job is to create opportunities for those guys to go and score. And I think the quicker we can move on and do that, I think that's when we're going to get the best out of our team. At the moment, we're still so heavily or highly bent on getting the best out of our wingers instead of the strikers, which makes no sense because we went and spend all that money on 2 bad boy strikers, in my opinion. But we're not playing in a way to get the best out of them. And I think Semenyo will add that to the team. I think he adds the creativity, but he also adds that guile, the determination, the aggression, the thing that can make something out of nothing at times as well. And I think we lacked that after losing Diaz. He was really good at doing that. And I think that's where a lot of people now are reflecting and going, actually, you know what? Diaz probably weren't that bad because he was doing this and he was doing that. He was the one that was maybe dribbling out of tight spaces and then giving the pass to get the pass to the other guys to go and score the goal. But then when you realize no one's doing that job, then you can see the effect it has on the team. Now you're looking at your wingers going, you guys must deliver. But they're not that type of wingers, isn't it? We need wingers that's not, I'm not saying you can't go and get a goal and look for a goal, but we need ones that's looking to create for the middle, the guys in the middle. Because not every team has like a Mo Salah and not every team have a Cody Gakpo, but they still win games of football, right? They still win games of football. I'm sure Saka hasn't got this like assist and goals as Salah this season, but Arsenal winning games. I'm sure Martinelli probably doesn't have the same amount of goals as a Gakpo, but Arsenal still winning games with him playing. And you look at probably even Doku as well. You probably look at his numbers and go, hey, I don't have the numbers at hand, so I could be wrong about this, but you don't see them getting massive numbers. But what they are doing is causing problems, isolating their fullbacks, creating space, getting the ball in the box, and then you've got players in there that can finish it off. And I think we lack that because I think we're so hell-bent on every winger we must sign has to be getting Salah numbers, has to be getting what Mane got when he was here, has to get what the combination of Gakpo and Diaz got. And I don't think we need that no more. That's the reason why we bought strikers. If we didn't buy the strikers, I'd be like, all right, whatever, innit? Then go and get me wingers that's got that capability. But they're not a lot of wingers in the world of football right now that's getting Salah's numbers like on a back-to-back season. There's guys coming through now and getting better and stuff like that. Their numbers are improving, but not on a consistent basis. So I think we need to move past. And I think Semenyo, just going back to what you asked, I think he in low blocks. And to be fair, Cal, it's not like we have the ball 90% of the time against most of these teams. There's times when they're transitioning, we catch them in the transition, but they get corners against us. And we were normally the killers when it came to that. They get a corner, they're worried about how many teams used to come. Like, even when we have a corner, we're so worried about what Liverpool could go and do. Because if they win it, we know it's a long way back and they've got some rapid players in the team that can go on and carry the ball well. So I don't think it matters about the low block stuff, in my opinion. But we just need players that's just got a bit of unpredictability about them, man. The wingers we got at the moment are just so predictable and it's easy to defend against. It's so easy. Show him inside, you stop it, and then they just header it out. I looked at like our crossing as well, how many times we delivered Gakpo and Salah in the box. And the percentage is low, bro. Like in terms of like, ball that goes into the box and we've won it, completed crosses, it's massively low. So teams are like, yeah, go on, cross it, because we just dropped back in and we got big centre halves, we'll just header that out and we'll deal with it. It's not an issue. But if you got someone that can go not only to the touchline, but also can cut in and also got a good delivery that can whip it across the face of the goal, chip it in, whatever it is to the forwards we have, then that's when we can cause problems, bro. And I think that's probably why they've identified Semenyo as someone that could potentially come in and offer that. Does he come in and it changes straight away and we look good? Probably not, because as again, my problem is the system. So even if we get him, and I want us to get him, he might come in and just look dull as well, and you'd be like, "Right, what was the point of spending all this money on him as well?" So, but I just hopefully that made sense to you guys. And
No, I did.
I don't know what you guys think about what I just said, but yeah, it's just the system needs to change, 100%.
Jamie, I'll come to you now. One of the things Enns did speak about there was the fact that we demand so much from our wingers and have done since we bought Mane and Salah, and they had such high output. Now, Semenyo, I'd look at as a goal-scoring winger as opposed to creative winger. Now, given we have Isak in the middle now as opposed to a Bobby Firmino, and we have Salah who, let's be real, isn't the best version of Salah, despite still being a good winger. Is it an argument to say that if we were to play Semenyo left and Salah on the right, that Ekitike is actually a better fit for Liverpool than Isak, given that he'd be a bit more of a facilitator, and the fact that Salah, and maybe not so much Salah, but Semenyo isn't that creative for a striker?
Would you say Jacob Murphy's creative? Because Jacob Murphy made all his ex goals.
Andy Gordon did play a part in that as well.
Yeah, but he's not creative either. That's what I'm saying. What Liverpool don't do right now, we don't play direct football. If you got players like Semenyo, Salah, and Isaac in your front line, you play direct football. It's as simple as that. You get the ball into them as quickly as possible, with all the space in front of them, and then they will find the strikers that are needed. I did a breakdown on this the other day. The top 4 players that touch the ball more in our club than anyone is Szoboszlai, Konate, Virgil, and another defender. I can't remember. I think one of the fullbacks. Right? They touch the ball more than anyone else. Yeah. I believe Alisson and Isaac have the same amount of touches for Liverpool so far. You know, we don't pass the ball to our strikers. It's as simple as that. The strikers didn't get hold of the ball. So you need to play more direct. You need to play more direct into wingers. It's as simple as that. If you're buying Alexander Isak, if you're getting Alexander Isak in your team, he's not a striker where you build up from the back, playing 27 passes, and then try and get him 8 touches a game but 1 goal. You need to feed him constantly. You need to play direct, quick football. You need to get him into space, into openings. And maybe with Semenyo, you can do that. I hear about the low block thing, but if you go buy wingers that play against low blocks, then you're pretty much only buying wingers from the Premier League that play at the top 6 sides, because low blocks ain't always. I think low block football is mostly in England more than Europe. When I watch a lot of European football, it's more of a tactical battle from both teams, or it's more about technique and stuff like that, and it is about blocking people out. They all want to play their game. They want to play individually, you know, and show their talent. I think England's more about low blocks. I think Semenyo's got the quality. I think he's very, very good at one-on-one situations. He's also physical. He puts himself about. He's up and down. He can track defence and help them. Also, you know, I think it helps Kirkes immensely as well, because they had a great relationship at Bournemouth. He'll understand how Kirkes wants to move if you're playing him correctly. Some of these players, they're not performing, and you have to have some, you know, a lot of blame has to go on them. We're also not using a lot of these players correctly either. You know, it's as simple as that. So I think Semenyo would be a great bit of business. We've got no pace. We got no one who runs in behind. You know, like no winger runs in behind. So Semenyo would be different, man. You can stretch the game. And I think that's all you need to do. It's all you need to do. And once you're stretching the game like that and you're playing him more in behind, then your midfielders can find better positions in the middle to, you know, McAllister might look better. You know, Szoboszlai might get on the edge of the box a little bit more. Gravenberch can sit back more. You know, Curtis Jones get more involved. So it's about creating openings and spaces and that on the pitch, which we don't do. So I think it'd be a clever signing.
Monts, big up, welcome to the show. Big up. One of the other teams linked with Semenyo at the moment is Arsenal. Now, Semenyo's made no secret of the fact him being an Arsenal fan, but he's also spoken very highly about Liverpool in the sense of he loves playing at Anfield. It's a lovely stadium. It's an intimidating stadium and all of that. Now, currently we're the front runners for him, it seems. But do you believe that Arsenal will make a play for Semeno? And if they do you think they get him ahead of us?
Yeah, Arsenal would get Semeno ahead of us, in my opinion. But I think we are probably second.
What makes you think that?
He's not like massive.
Yeah, he's a child of
Arsenal. Yeah, I don't care. So Ekatike is a massive Man United fan. Who gives a shit?
Yeah, but I think
he is.
Yeah, he is. He's a massive Man United fan. The thing is, Arsenal. Here's the thing with Arsenal. I'm sorry about this. Yeah, Arsenal have to sell players in January if they go sign.
Oh yeah, no, but I was getting to that. I was getting to that. The kind of the thing that lies in our favor is that Richard Hughes, we know, has the Bournemouth links for one, and I think for me, I feel like Semenyo probably you can look at both teams and go, yeah, his preference might be Arsenal for sentimental reasons, and then he can look at things long term for Liverpool and the fact that there is difficulty. It's more difficult for Arsenal to get him financially than it is for us. We're a bit more free in what we can do, even though we've spent money. We're a bit more free for this. Do you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man, I think that doesn't mean Liverpool can't and won't get the player, because if Arsenal decide not to sell, then they can't get the player. Eze is a massive Arsenal fan, boyhood club, all of that, and he was seconds away from going to Spurs. because he wasn't sure if Arsenal were going to make the move. So even for me, it doesn't really matter whether it's in our hands or not. I personally think there's better ways to spend the money than Anton Semenyo. Good player, intense, but if wingers are going to be used the way the manager uses the wingers currently, then why the hell was Semenyo going to make a difference? Salah looks shit. Gakpo looks shit.
So elaborate on that. How do you think we could spend the money better months?
Guehi, Schlotterbeck. I don't know. Those are two centre-back options that we can go for.
So you go for Schlotterbeck may not be available in January.
Yeah, would you go? So you go for two centre-backs as opposed to a centre-back and a winger then?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I agree with Mons. I do. I think Mons talks sense there
but that's only because I believe Ekitike is deployable, not a natural winger, but I think he's deployable on the left. I think we have players that are deployable in different areas, and I think even though we're crap going forward, we're still scoring goals. We're not the worst. Like, we're still up there in terms of the goals scored, and we're missing chances. Like, I think there's more work to do defensively, and the bagel football that we play, the bagel ball we play, is much more of a worry. And I just really don't want to see a world where we have to play Gravenberch centre back. And I think there is a reality where that eventually might happen because of, there's no more international breaks. It's 3 games a week for the foreseeable, man. For the foreseeable, there's a lot of games on the way. And we put ourselves in a position where we kind of need to be near on perfect from now until January. Unfortunately, there's now no room for error. There was already no room for error, but now there's no room for error. So don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that Semenyo will only go Arsenal, but we're in a better financial position because they need to sell. They're in a position where sentimentally they're that's a word. They're probably ahead of us on that one, and there's nothing wrong with that. Semenyo is a good player. Is he in that Sadio Mane mode where he's just ready to go to the moon? We don't know yet. You know what I'm saying? We don't know. That's the thing about these type of players. There's a lot of talk about guys that can die, not to Liverpool, but Ndiaye. I think Ndiaye is better than Semenyo. I think Ndiaye has been the best winger, one of the best wingers in the league. You know what I'm saying? Shada is a player who's been massively underrated with his ability as well for Brentford. Right. These are players, but I don't think Semenyo is worlds away from them. I don't think he's worlds away. I just think if Liverpool need to add some P in their attack rather than everyone wanting the ball to feet, that's cool. But how's the manager going to deploy them? As I said, our wingers don't look good. So why is buying another winger ain't gonna? I don't know if it's gonna.
I think our wingers don't look good. I think our wingers don't look good this season for 2 reasons. One, we don't play direct enough, which don't help them, and 2, they got no pace. I think that's a problem. Like En said it earlier. I think Enzo said it earlier. Liverpool used to be the best in transition. Apart from Barcelona, I'd say Liverpool were like the second best in transition at Europe at one time, right? When the opposition used to get corners against us, it was worth for them having the corner because our transition was ridiculous. Now our transition is like Fred Flintstone trying to ride a car. Do you know what I mean? It's slow and it's robotic and it's boring. We need some pace. And yeah, he would be perfect. Look, the Arsenal links, I hear it, being a bit like Eze, being that big Arsenal fanboy. If Arsenal were in for him, yeah, I hear it. If they were definitely in for him, I just think with Arsenal having the amount of wingers they got on either side, and we're also near the danger zone for not FFP, I don't know what it's called, but in Europe, they're almost in that danger zone for going over the rules of financial fair play in Europe. So they'd probably have to sell someone to get him in. If they do that, then they probably do get him in January. But maybe that's why Liverpool think they can take a step ahead of everyone in the January window because they have an option on there.
Yeah.
They have that option that they can go and get him in January. If they wait till the summer, I think Semenyo goes to Arsenal in the summer because Arsenal can afford to get rid of in time in the summertime. So, yeah, I think Liverpool, if they want him, they go and get him, man. Go and get him.
Yeah. I agree with Mont as well, by the way. Just a quick one. In terms of my reason for wanting him is the same reason you want centre-backs. I would love to get a Guehi and a Semenyo, but the same problem we have is you have the problem if the way the wingers are playing, and I have the problem with how the centre-backs are playing. The system is the massive problem at the moment. So for me, same as if we get Semeno, Does it make us better? Probably not until we fix the system. Even if we get a Schlotterbeck, Guehi, Baston, we could get all the best centre backs in the world. We're not going to be any better than what we are because we play too open for teams to express how they want to play against us. Until we get to a system that allows us to play as a team, as a unit, then when you add those individual qualities, that's where I feel that's where we can go. But sorry, Ram,
mid block counter attacking. That's what we should be playing, man.
Yeah. Ram. So in the summer, reports have come out just recently that in the summer Liverpool rejected the opportunity to sign a left winger because they didn't want to block the pathway of Rio. So the names were mentioned were Rodrigo and Barcola. Do you think there's a chance that Liverpool maybe look at other wingers apart from Semenyo? And also, what does this mean now for Rio, given that the whole conversation in the summer was not to block his pathway? Do you think he goes out on loan, or do you think he stays at Liverpool for the short-term future?
Well, I think I do hope we do have alternatives to Semenyo if we can't get him in January. It'll be a bit stupid if we only had Semenyo in mind and didn't have a backup plan for that. But when it comes to blocking the pathway of Rio, I was not too keen on the idea of Rio being like a backup in the first place. I think certain players are built to play season in, season out, and he's just not there yet. And that's not because of his quality. It's the fact that he's only 17 years old. We saw what happened with, well, look, we're hearing the news about Lamine Yamal, and obviously Enz is not going to like what I'm saying, but the games that he played at such a young age, it takes a toll. And we've learned from this. Michael Owen.
Yeah, it ain't games that done.
That one is in. That's not because of injury. I saw what you had to do.
Guys, it's not game time that's done his groin. We know that. We know what's done his groin.
Yeah, he's active off the pitch. He's very active off the pitch.
Yeah. Obviously, it's all allegedly, isn't it? It's all allegedly.
No, it's not allegedly. It's active, man. It's always MILF action, man. It's always MILF action.
He's active.
But we saw what happened with Michael Owen. We know that firsthand, like the amount of games that he played. I know people say sports science and everything, we can manage his injuries and everything like that, but if you're going into a season, and I said this about Arsenal last season, they went into the season with Ethan Nwaneri as their backup. I was like, you're not going to win no league if you have that as your backup. He's not ready yet. I was at a time where when our midfield options were Hendo, Fabinho, Wijnaldum, then it was Oxlade, Milner, Lallana, and then we had Curtis Jones after that. Those were the options as our centre midfielders. And having a left winger as a kid, look, no one could doubt his talent. We saw it against Newcastle. We saw it glimpses against Burnley. But having him as backup is just, you're asking too much for a kid. And I've been a big advocate of like, look, give kids the game.
Too much for a kid.
I've got a bit. I've got a
wait. So as backup, it's too much. Ram, if you were
the biggest club in the world, the biggest club in the world. Yeah.
If you were 17, you got one goal in 2 appearances, for your club. And by the way, these guys are athletes and they're used to playing minutes. In what way do you think it's too much to be a backup to someone who plays pretty much every minute of every game, while there's also a left wing option in front of him in Chiesa and Bert?
Well, we know what's going on with Chiesa.
I just know how is it too much.
You keep telling us about Chiesa, bro. We know he ain't going to see no minutes.
Okay, delete Chiesa for a second. Florian Wirtz plays on the left. Gakpo didn't start the other day. Florian Wirtz played on the left. So how is it too much? And by the way, and that baddie in charge, he threw them under the bus. So there's actually less games to play.
If you're
say that, I'm just saying there's less, bro. He threw the youths under the bus, and therefore there's actually now only one other competition that he can rotate the team in. So they're gonna play even less minutes now. They're gonna play even less minutes. So how is it too much for him to play?
We just got.
But Mons, if you're telling me that Wirtz was coming in to play left winger, you're gonna be you're out of his goddamn mind.
He's seen as an option ahead of Rio.
Goddamn mind.
I'm not saying Wirtz is left winger, but he's ahead of Gakpo didn't start the other day and he played vert. So I'm just saying, how is it too much? Bro.
No, but bro, when we play, look, and I always use Man City as the barometer and the measuring stick in terms of quality within depth. How many times when they took out, when they had Bernardo Silva, this is what I'm talking 2018-19, when Riyad Mahrez weren't playing, was Bernardo Silva on the right hand side, or if it was vice versa. That is the sort of depth that I'm looking for, and that's the depth that we have to compete with. Like Arsenal may not have the depth going forward, but their defensive option. If Timber gets injured, they got Ben White to come in. If Gabriel drops, they got Hincapié, they got Mosquera. Those are the levels that we're talking about. And is it weird for me to ask for those levels in the forward lines?
No, I hear. But here's my thing about Rio, though. Right? Maybe Rio's just not as good as a lot of people think.
Whoa.
Maybe there is that. Because I'll ask you this, yeah. Is Rio actually any better than Ben Doak at the same age?
Whoa.
No, I'm just asking a question. I'm just throwing it out there. I'm just throwing it out there.
Ben Doak, I think he's a
decision making player.
I think Ben Doak is a good player as well, Jay. But Rio is an exceptional talent. I promise you, bro. We are the ones that's making him look like he's not good now.
No, I agree. He's an exceptional talent. He's 17 years of age. This is the thing, right? You look at Esteval, similar sort of profile, similar age, light years ahead of him, right? And he's playing for Brazil, for goodness sake. Light years ahead of him.
Chelsea are playing him. That's why he can play.
Yeah, but he's playing for Rio's never going to play for England at 17. You know,
he plays for the under-19s at 17. He can. If Liverpool gave him the opportunity, he could.
Lewis Skelly came in and played left back.
Wanda wasn't playing for England. He's
that was due to injury
now
crisis.
He's playing for England.
Started playing though.
You play football. If you're playing, this kid is playing 2 years ahead of his ability. He's playing 2 years ahead.
You name me Brazil's
I'm going to say it now. Rio never has a Liverpool career.
Oh no, Jamie, that's
no. When the manager goes, when the manager.
But Jamie, this is what I mean when I'm talking about like just in terms of this type of consistency, because we've just said bringing in Semenyo. I've just said bringing in Semenyo. I don't know how good that's going to be, but the wingers look rubbish. If you play on the wing for Liverpool, you're gonna look rubbish. Even if you're a very good winger, you're gonna look rubbish. So why are we not applying that to Rio?
Yeah, that's what I'm applying to.
He's the one we should be applying that to the most. Even though he's not getting the minutes, and now he's going to get even less minutes because you know who decided to throw the young bucks under the bus, right?
Like, you know who, bro? Is he vulnerable? Like, did you mean?
Well, innit? You know what I'm saying? That has to apply to the younger ballers as well. It can't just apply to the Salahs and the Semenyos and the Gakpos or whoever we decide to get in on the wing outside of these guys. Come on now. Like, no one's saying he's going to be the next best winger in the world, but he is, as what N said, he's an exceptional talent. And if Salah and if the seniors are looking poor, then why is he going to look any better with his lack of experience?
But from what you're saying about Rio is as if you're saying he's going to be one of the best young player. He's going to be one of the best players in the world in the future.
I never said that.
No, but the way you're saying as if he is good enough and he needs the game time is as if he is, because the only person that played at 17 who is of the level and is one of the best in the world is probably Lamine Yamal.
Promise you, if this guy plays, man, you wouldn't.
I'm with it. By the way, I'm with everyone on him playing. What I'm trying to say is, if Slot stays as Liverpool manager for this year, next year, and the year after, right? Does anyone legitimately see this guy playing? No, because Cody Gakpo can be shit as much as he's like. He plays, yeah. He's got a 250 grand a week contract. He ain't going nowhere, right? I don't know if he can play right wing, but he looks like he's very left wing orientated as Rio. So if that's his position, that's his position. Yeah. When thereafter Semenyo, who might play left wing. It tells me
if he doesn't dash the young bucks under the bus, we're not having this conversation.
It tells me that he isn't going to play with. Now, if you get a change of manager who goes, you know what, this Rio kid's better than anything. I've got a left wing at 17. I'm going to play him every week. We see the real one.
He was never really supposed to play a crazy amount of minutes this season anyway. I'm telling you, if he doesn't throw the kids under the bus, we're going, well, he's going to get minutes in the Carabao Cup anyways, and then we move on to the next topic. And it's do you know what I'm saying?
The problem is, Mons, when the club come out and say we are not buying a Luis Diaz replacement because Rio is that replacement, then he needs to play. That's the problem we got.
Not necessarily. Do you know
who's our other left winger? So we're playing Verts out of position on the left. He doesn't want to play Chiesa. So when we're told we aren't buying a left wing replacement because Rio is the future at this football club, so we're not going to buy anyone. So if we're buying Semenyo, it's like Ian says, he's going to play right wing. By the way, most of his career has been the right wing.
Play both wings.
Semenyo's most of his career has been at right wing, and he tore us up at right wing at the beginning of the season. So that's more of his position. So maybe he is the Salah replacement. If that's the case, maybe Rio is long-term Liverpool's number one left winger. I just need to see the kid play.
Then there's a miscommunication in the club, because if he's the long-term replacement, then he's being used way more sparingly than someone you would see as a long-term future for Liverpool Football Club. Me, I just think that's a bit of PR. He is definitely seen as someone who has a pathway to the club, to the first team. But I think it's a bit of PR in terms of the Diaz replacement. We're not buying a Diaz replacement. Ekitike is seen as a profile who can play striker and can play off the left as a left forward, not necessarily left wing, but as a left forward. Verts is being played there before Rio is getting game time. I don't think anyone really sees an option with these things. But when the wingers are playing so poorly, these things are magnified. There's a much bigger.
But Mons, that means Rio's never playing in, because everything you just mentioned there means Rio's
the
never
been
playing.
a car. He's been an idiot. That's why. It's because the manager's been a. It's not to do with Rio. Mo Salah looks like he's never kicked the ball before.
No, but we agree with you with the manager. We agree with you.
Bro, this is what I'm saying. So all these problems, it leads back to the. It goes back.
Well, that's why I just said if Scott's in charge for the next 3 years, is Rio going to get game time?
Probably not.
No,
and
exactly.
But if Rio's getting minutes all the way up until, I don't know, let's say we got to the semi-final of the Carabao Cup, no one. I promise you, no one's caring if he's not getting prem minutes. No one's gonna care. No one will care. But what did this guy do? Throw away a game when we were on a 5-game loss streak, like the baddie he is.
Rio did play that game. Looks terrible.
This is what it is, bro. He's moving mad, and the players like Rio, like why the hell is Rio a talking point about whether he's ready or not? Because the manager can't do basic things.
No, I agree, man. I agree. It's my whole thing. It's my whole argument why Rio might not make it.
I'm not even arguing with you and Ram about saying how he's not ready or if he is ready. We're never gonna know if he's ready at this point.
No,
we're never gonna know.
Unless you're gonna be one of the best in the world, you're not ready.
The manager won't.
That's my mindset when it comes to young players.
What did you say? What did you say, Rob?
Unless you're gonna be one of the best in the world at your peak, you're not ready.
How the hell can
bro? Can we, bro?
No, but Ram, you can't justify that statement, bro. Based on what?
But on the other side,
no, Cal, don't save him. No,
please, Cal, please.
I literally gave an example of what the level is at the moment with our rivals, and we're saying that we're going to have to rely on a 17-year-old.
Who's relying?
And we're not saying as backup because there's about 50 games or 60 games a season that we play.
How do you know a player's ready though? But if you don't play them,
if you look at the physicality of the game and where it is.
Look at Esteval. Look at Lamar. These men aren't physical, bro. You
don't have to be physical.
No one would know about Miles Lewis Skelly if he didn't play, bro.
How did he play? How did he play, Ends?
No one would know.
They had an injury crisis then. They were forced to do it. They were forced to do it.
And in pre-season, Rio was cooking and we didn't play him. So what now?
I don't think Rio has to ever be world class.
If we played Rio, you know we would be good enough to be challenging for a league title. Then
the thing is,
that's not the question.
And that's not me slating. That's not me slating Rio. That's not me slating Rio.
No, we're not whether it's ready or not. But you jumped from being ready. You have to be guaranteed to be not guaranteed. You have to be going to be one of the best in the world at your peak. Come on now.
When I look at Rio play,
how can you even know that? You could have one great game. So we did think John Flanagan was
Yeah,
going to be one of the
fire,
best.
man.
This all comes at the end of the day. This all
Don't
comes
make
down
it,
to
man.
what the manager wants to do. Yeah, we were told in the summer as a fan base we're not getting a left back replacement for Diaz because Rio's second choice. That is what we was all told, right? Gakpo's number one choice, Rio's second choice. It's as simple as that. When Gakpo don't play, Rio's going to play. That's what we all believed and what we all thought going into this season. We looked forward to it. The manager's like, no worry about him. Verts to play left wing, right? That is what we've been. So Verts is ahead of him. I wouldn't be. He'd probably play Kirkes left wing ahead of him if he had a chance. You know, Ekitike would play left wing. Rio has got more talent for me than Cody Gakpo, right? Natural talent, right? The problem is that natural talent is never going to improve in his game if he doesn't get minutes on the pitch. There's only so much he can do in training. My problem with it now is I'm looking at the fact I'm not looking just at this season. I'm looking at next season, the season after that, as he's maturing and growing and learning the game more. If we're after other wingers, we're in the market for other wingers now. Where does that say Semenyo is bought as the left wing? He's not going to play right wing. It's him and Cody. Where does that put Rio? When does Rio ever get game time? And playing the odd League Cup game here and there is not going to improve his game. It's not going to improve him as a footballer.
I think there's obviously going to be players that leave as well, though, isn't it, Jay? So there will be players that probably depart before we can inject.
Yeah, probably Rio.
Maybe. But I mean, like you'd probably say if you're going off the base of the next, say, 2 years, right? If Salah doesn't extend and you go, he's gone. Chiesa is gone. That's two wingers out, and then that leaves what just Gakpo, Rio, and that's it.
And
am I right?
again.
Yeah. And then if Semenyo comes in, and then one other. Say it's Elise and Semenyo that comes in, and then you got Gakpo and Rio. So now you got four that you can just go right. These guys can play across the not across the front, but they can play left or right. Do you know what I mean? If you wanted to. So you've got players that can fight with each other. Who comes in, who comes out. But yeah, he has to play, and that's why I said he has to go on loan. But you won't know if he's ready unless you play. No one knew Skelly was ready unless he played. Lamine, no one knew he was ready until he played. They have to play consistent games, and then you can go, okay, maybe he's 6 months off, maybe he's a year off. Let's reassess this. Let's lower the minutes. But you won't know if these players are good enough unless they play. Estebal's playing. He's cold, but he's playing. He's getting minutes to showcase his talent, and then he's getting picked for the international squad because of that. But you if you're not going to play, then you're just sitting on the bench like raw. Like Kwanzaa got his first cap. He had to leave Liverpool to get that. And you hear how the review he got from
he
Liverpool.
got called up previously, though.
And you heard the England manager. You heard
playing now,
Tuchel.
bro.
Tuchel said he's ahead of Trent in that right back position.
Bro, he's ahead.
Which is mad, by the way. Which is mad.
That's your boy. That's your boy, Mons.
By the way, I didn't want to sell Kwanzaa.
By the way, no. Kwanzaa's my guy.
Kwanzaa's Mons' guy. Mons loves Kwanzaa.
Right, Ram. So thank you. So in case people forget, remember,
Mons loves Kwanzaa. He didn't want him to go. Yeah.
No, it's one way to help tell Mons get over the girl, bro. Just get over her.
Yeah.
No. But it doesn't matter whether Kwanzaa's playing or Trent's playing. I still win. I can't be defeated. I can't
that
be defeated.
slot image is wacky, man.
Can't defeat you. All I'm saying is let's not use the word rely on Rio, innit? We don't rely on Rio because again, Cody Gakpo is gonna play he's gonna the only thing I will say is that if Cody actually does get injured, which is very rare, but if he does get injured, it will be interesting to see what the manager does. Very interesting.
I'm
not saying it will be Rio. I'm not saying I don't think
I'm not saying you guys are wrong. I'd want Rio to play, but it won't be him. None of this.
Does anyone
would have been all right, but we're not winning. We keep
getting. I'll ask everyone on the panel quickly to end this. If Slot changes his round and form starts getting great again, and he's manager for the next 2 or 3 years, what does everyone think is the future of Rio?
It depends on the market.
Again, Jamie.
So say Slot turns this around, and he starts winning games. He does what he does, and he starts winning things again, In the next 3-year period, what do we think he does with Rio? Because Liverpool will dip into the transfer market and buy wide players. There's no doubt about that. What do you see Rio's future being in 3 years' time? It'll be like 20 then. And by then, he should be playing Premier League football.
I think he'll be playing more games. He'll be playing more games, 100%. 100% be playing more games. If he doesn't, then I question, and if he has turned it around, I question why did you not give him the opportunity?
Because That's why I asked this
At like
season
19.
why, if he's not going to be used, he should have gone on loan. This is why all Liverpool fans are like, oh, Rio didn't go on loan. You promoted into the senior squad. So he's number 2 left winger and he's going to play if Cody don't play. That's the rotation there. And he's like, nah, it's not the case. So that's why we're all a bit
Could I give
confused
you an
what we're
example, though, Jamie? And I'm not saying that he's of the same level, but Wenger was a big fan of Reece Nelson when he was coming through. And then he went to Hoffenheim and he tore it up. No, but Wenger was a big fan of him. And then he went to Hoffenheim and he tore it up at Hoffenheim. Then he came back and he wasn't the same player as people saw from him when he was at Hoffenheim. Could it be the case of when you loan someone out, it's not the same as playing for the actual club? Like the levels are just different.
That is
Well, that depends on the loan. But I don't think it was under Wenger. It might have been on, I don't know.
No, Wenger was a big fan of him. Wenger talks highly.
Yeah. No, I remember Reece's stint over there in Germany, and he done all right. But
yeah, him and Gnabry.
Even like O'Reilly now as well. Pep playing him, bro. Guess what? England call up now.
Yeah, O'Reilly's gone under the radar. I think O'Reilly's better than Skelly, right? And he's gone completely under the radar.
No, O'Reilly's a wicked player, even from the back end of last season when he was getting minutes.
Yeah,
He's a very good player.
But O'Reilly's 20 years of age.
But the last season, it helped that Man City weren't challenging for anything. It bloody
no, as I said, sometimes, but what the hell are we challenging?
Yeah, we're not challenging
nothing right now. Do you know what I'm saying?
Let me help these stupid. Because I've got to wrap up because I've got to shoot off somewhere.
You want to wrap up?
Yeah, wrap up's a bit mad as well.
I ain't done that for 30 years. To be fair.
There's nothing wrong with
Aki says, big up, Cal. Just finished watching your interview 30 minutes ago. That 50 minutes went by so fast. It was fantastic. Big up yourself, Aki. Do check out the interview.
Well, read the last bit.
You're legendary. Appreciate it.
Yeah, pick yourself up.
Yeah, bro. That's to do with the Thomas Gronemark interview, the former ex-Liverpool throwing coach. So do check it out when you get a chance. Really insightful. Has a lot of good things to say. Really good guy as well. Guna Lee here.
Is that our last? The guy that left? He left.
Not long ago,
yeah. Do you know what's All right, cool. Cal, before you go, I saw something on Twitter. And I looked at it and I laughed. And someone said it was one of those, them tacticos.
Yeah.
They were like, Liverpool have got rid of their throwing coach. Yeah. And it sounds crazy, but this could have a massive impact on retaining possession in positions for Liverpool. And their throwing coach was, and remember Liverpool used to take really long to take every throw-in. Not long, but he was very. You see, I remember Trent used to
on the borderline. On borderline with borderline wait the right.
We borderline done the Arsenal ticket time. It was like. Bro, I'm telling you right now, he said it will be very interesting to see Liverpool's retention now without their throwing coach. And we are shit. I'm not saying it's because of him leaving, but
no, it is. It actually is because of him. So just a little bit of a snippet. So before he came to Liverpool, we were 18th in the league for retention.
Yeah, I saw a stat of that. Yeah.
When he came in, we went to first in the league. So we were 18th out of 20 teams.
What was the squad before he came in?
He came in and
after Champions League final, no?
Yeah,
2018.
He came in the beginning of 2018, 2019.
So it could also link together that the team were gelling better together and keeping possession better anyway.
No, but they slowed it down for players to recover and get into good position.
No, they mixed.
Yeah, I can do that. I could just go. I could do a coach tomorrow.
No, don't do that now.
Whoever gets the ball for a throw in, take your time. Take your time, relax on it. Wait till players are in certain position.
But it wasn't always. So you have to again not to plug it.
Didn't we can see from front of
Palace, bro? Don't plug it. Plug it.
He also went to Brentford, and Brentford were this. I think he finished working with Brentford last season, and they were one of the best last season at it as well.
Yeah, set pieces are important, man.
And they've now got their set piece coach as their manager.
Yeah. No, it weren't even a long throw thing. It's
not a long throw.
No, it's not a long throw thing. It's the short throw. It's the
he holds the record for the longest throw in though. He holds the world record for it.
It's about positions you take up on the pitch as well and how long you take to do and all that sort of stuff.
Like, I just remember us never losing possession.
Remember the throw and then Trent would switch it straight away to Robbo would be open.
Yeah,
just the way we set up from it. Yeah,
I'm pretty sure at Palace didn't we mess up from I don't know, one of the we probably messed up
from a lot. Guna Lee says happy birthday to Brett and LFC. eighth place.
I'll tell you what. If Arsenal don't win the league this season, they got to hide. They have to hide. They have to hide.
Dwight said, does anyone know how we play? I have no idea. Dwight, brother, we are sitting here asking the exact same question.
No, we play bagel ball.
Or donut.
But you can't even explain it. Where is it?
But bagel ball. I don't know. All I know is there's nothing in the middle.
Vacate the middle.
That's it.
Accurate says Rio gonna have a bright future at another club. We're way too much of a mess right now, and I think we get over this current form, it will be with even more options at the left wing potentially.
Sounds like Tyler Morton.
Yeah, and Ramsey's right. If you're a young kid and you're ready to play significant minutes for a top side, you're on the road to already being among one of the best one day.
Yeah, but don't we all think that of Rio?
Does the manager?
You have to play. You have to play to be able to.
The manager.
Like the fact, what is I think peeing us a lot off with Rio is the fact that Cody Gakpo's shit, and it's what managers basically saying that playing Rio is no different. That's that's like how bad's Cody's form got to be for like?
Jamie, I believe in situations, and I believe if Liverpool were top of the league, high flying, I just think he would have been more inclined to play certain players. I feel like now that Liverpool, it's almost like we can't lose another game.
No, I don't think if we win games and we're at the top, he doesn't rotate.
Shall I tell you why I don't agree with that, Moz? Even though that's what we should be doing.
He won't
we were
rotate.
beating Eintracht Frankfurt 5-1, and he still didn't bring Rio on the
field.
No, I know. I know.
That's literally the perfect opportunity to let a young player come in.
I'm just saying.
I
I'm just saying he put himself in a position where any stupid rotation, his head's on the platter already. Already it is. You know what I'm saying?
But look, boys, we're gonna wrap up there. Monts, I know you're never a foul straight after this, right?
Yes.
So you guys stay here. You'll be redirected over there. Jay, we've got vibes with Kopish tonight at 10:30.
That we have,
10:30 on Big Up. So make sure you join us there. We'll also have a preview around 8 o'clock for the Nottingham Forest game with Wolfie, which will be fireworks, I presume. Enz, you got anything coming out today?
No, just a members only chat. So that's I think at 5 or 6. I can't remember now, but yeah.
Cool. So make sure you're there at 5 or 6. If you're
got charity stream today at 6:30, everyone is welcome to pass through, whether it's 5 minutes, whether it's 10 minutes. We're going to be live for about 3.5 hours from 6:30. Going to be some nice guests as well. So hopefully there's some nice surprises if you guys want to pop through. You know what I'm saying? Again, it doesn't have to be football talk. You know what I'm saying? Just
I promise no Silver Slide talk once.
He'll ban you. He'll ban you.
Wherever you guys want, man.
I'm waiting for the ban right now.
Right, you got anything?
Sorry, obviously we're gonna have some big names passing through hopefully as well, and I just want everyone to kind of pass through pretty much and just do it for a good cause. Good cause stuff, man.
I'll drop him once. I'll drop him. Ram, you got anything coming out today?
Yeah, man. This past week, I've been doing a lot of gaming content. This is the only sort of vibes I could get until Liverpool start playing again, innit? So I'm gonna do a couple gaming content. I got a gaming stream today at around about 4 or 5 p.m. So stay tuned for that. And then I've got a preview tomorrow in the afternoon as well. So got some stuff. Man. In the pipeline.
I've been heavily watching Orange YouTube to please myself.
Oh, cool. That's
industry.
I don't even know what.
He said it after I was talking about content, bro. That's bad. That's bad. That's bad.
Smash the like button, people. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. Till we see you again. LFC Focus live. Take care, people. Stay safe. Stay blessed. With Kopish. We're out. See you later.
Thank you.